Hello, everybody. This is Gerald Salenti, and it's Thursday, February 8th, 2024. And here are some of your trends in the news. And remember, the trend is your friend. And we're the only friends out there that are giving you the trends. Nobody, nowhere, anyhow, any place comes close to what we're giving you. And by the way, you could get it all for the grand total of about $2.85 a week. And this week's Trends Journal is over 170 pages, and you can listen to it. And you don't have to read all of it. And there's the cover, and the cover says exactly the way I feel about what's going on in the world. How stupid and gutless can you be to obediently follow your ignorant, arrogant political leaders? And one of the reasons why is because the mainstream media sucks up to them, bows down to them. How fucking low can you go to put a little piece of scumbag? Lindsay, did you come out of the closet yet, Graham, on the media all the time? They're prostitutes. They're media whores that get paid to put out by their corporate pimps and government whoremasters. This article came out about the money these people are making. They go to Anderson Cooper like $10 million a year. Well, go 40 million a year, 30, 40 million that Rachel Maddow, mad cow, mad out of her mind. A little nothing. Oh, yeah, a little clown that made fun of people like me that went to the Rage Against the War Machine rally last February, last President's Day. Yeah. So we're giving you what nobody else in the world is giving you. We have an extraordinary magazine, and the more subscribers we get, the more we can do. And we're doing everything we can. Nobody's giving you what we're giving you. And subscribe to this page and subscribe to the Trends Journal. Go to trendsjournal.com, trendsjournal.com to read history before it happens. On the economic front, the markets are up a little bit today. Everybody's happy. And Bitcoin back up to that 45,000 mark. And again, in your Trends Journal, we've hit the highs and the lows. The data is right there. And we still remain bullish on it. Gold prices hanging around the 235 mark, 2,035. And by the way, every now and then I say something wrong. So take it easy. You don't get everything right. I got a lot of stuff on my mind. So I say World War II, I meant World War III. So take it easy. I'm on. I get these comments. Little fucking Biden's out of his mind. Can't even fucking walk in a straight line. And I get this fucking shit. Anyway. So going back to the markets. Watch out for the banking bust. And we're going to talk more about that. The markets are being pushed up by just a few companies. And with the geopolitical and socioeconomic conditions going on, we don't see this going on much longer. Wall Street is worried about another regional banking crisis. This is the Cartoon News Network, CNN. Wall Street has experienced a case of deja vu. It's been nearly a year since the collapse of three regional. Again, what's one of our top trends for 2024? Banks go bust. We warned about this when the office building crisis because they made people stay at home. So again, it's one of your top trends. There it is. Office building bust. And this year, banks go bust. We're the only ones who've been talking about this. They barely mention it. This is from Wall Street on Parade. That's a great site to go to. Pam and Russ Martins, they do a great job. Here's how it opens. And again, repeating what we've been saying, but they do a great job. The S&P 500 closed at a record yesterday, meaning Wednesday, while banks, big, medium, and small, continue to see their share prices hammered. And while the media is focusing the public's attention on the share prices collapse of New York Community Bank Corp, which as of yesterday is down 56% year to date, and its credit rating downgraded to junk by Moody's on Tuesday's evening, numerous other banks are trading at their lowest levels in 2 years. We have forecast this in your Trends Journal. No one had forecast this. No one. There's going to be a banking crisis, the likes of what you haven't seen in your. Hey, this crash is going to be worse than the 1929 stock market crash. And then they go on to list them. KeyBank, 22nd largest. Shares down 50%. Comerica, 32nd largest bank, 415 branches. Down 50%. Western Alliance Bancorp, 35th largest bank, down 45%. Valley National Bank, 37th, down 43%. Then they go on to say small regional banks have experienced even more dramatic share price pain. First Foundation Inc., parent of First Foundation Bank, has seen its share price lose 70% of its market value. So yeah, the markets are going up. You know what it is? It's prostitute.
Bullshit. Bullshit. That is bullshit.
You got it? And then a tiny little article buried in the New York slime, the toilet paper record, why one bank is stirring fears of a wider mess. Isn't that nice language? Look, little nothing article. Yep. Yep. Nothing here. I'm telling you, this is going to be a crisis the likes of which we've never seen. China oust security regulator chair after stocks tumble. This is from the Financial Times. Your stocks are way down. They're trying to bring them back up. They're not going anywhere. The Chinese, the benchmark CSI 300 index is down 44% from its peak just 2 years ago. All right? Or 2021. And they artificially are trying to prop it back up. Again, we're writing about this in detail in your Trends Journal. It's going to get much worse. Australian Central Bank cuts growth forecast. Oh, they cut their growth forecast because scumbag little fucks locked down the goddamn place to destroy the economy, to fight the COVID war. And all those little pricks, all those gutless little boys, those cops locking up people. You don't have your mask on. You shouldn't be outside. Yeah, they have destroyed the world. The damage of the COVID war is incalculable. Incalculable. Bunch of fucking shitheads. Oh, very important. Tech layoffs reflect shift to AI focus. Okay, so the techs are firing a lot of people, but they hired a lot of people. So here's what's going to go on. They're going to keep spending more and more and more and more and more money in AI. Everybody is. And it's going to create more jobs for a while. But they're creating more AI so they can get rid of Y.O.U. Yeah. More AI to get rid of Y.O.U. That's all they're interested in. Getting rid of the plantation workers of Slavelandia so we don't have to pay them anything. And the Ackmans and the Finks and the Vanguards can make more money. And the billionaires can get richer. Got it? The Gates, the Cooks, and the crooks. Look at these little fucks. Pete Shy, the clown at Google. Yeah, let up. That's all they're interested in. So that's the story here. And you're only hearing it from us. EVs put a damper on Ford's profits. What a surprise. What's one of your top trends for 2024? EV, FU. We've been warning about this for a long time. And we've been saying they're going to be going more and more hybrid. We've been saying this for years. And now Toyota is cashing in as hybrid sales boom. Dun, da, da, da. What a surprise. So that's what we tell you. We tell you what they're reporting, our analysis, and our trend forecasts. So when we say hybrids are going to go up, if you want to invest in that sector, then that's the kind of thing that you do. We don't tell you what to do. We have no advertisers, zero, nada. Nobody tells us what to do. Okay. This is, every week in the Trends Journal, we have bigs getting bigger. Private equity buyers take majority stake in Baker Tilly. Devon Energy Corp talks to acquire Calgary-based driller in Enerplus Corp. Amundi and deal for Alpha Associates. UK home builder Bharat to buy Rival. Merck to buy Elanco's Aqua Arm for $1.3 billion. You got it? You got it? The bigs are getting bigger. And the reason they're getting bigger is because all those little scumbags sold out your country. In the United States, they got rid of the Robbins-Patman Act, Sherman Antitrust Act, Clayton Antitrust Act, Glass-Steagall Act. The little fucking scumbag politicians that morons and imbeciles call campaign contributions, they're bribes and payoffs. So don't forget how I feel and what I say about politicians. Here's your t-shirt. Hey, politicians, who the fuck are you to tell me what to do? And the back of the t-shirt, hey, politician. And how do you get your t-shirt? You go to Trends Journal and you go to shop and you can find it right there. What a fucking freak show. Okay, here we go. Nearly a quarter of all hostages held by Hamas in Gaza dead, IDF believes. The New York Times adds another 20 to it. So here's our forecast. And we're going to get to Netanyahu. They're not going for the ceasefire program. They're going to wait till all the hostages are dead. So there's no reason to have any kind of talk about ceasefire. And they're going to bomb Gaza into ruin and take it over. That is our forecast. Only solution, total victory, says Netanyahu. Yep. The Hamas authored document proposed a three-stage 135-day ceasefire during which Israeli hostages would be swapped for Palestinian prisoners. Reconstruction work would begin in Gaza, and talks aimed at a permanent truce would be held while Israel troops withdraw from the Strip. Well, to me, that sounds pretty reasonable. No. Surrender to Hamas's delusional demands that we have just heard not only would bring about the freedom of the hostages, it would only invite an additional slaughter. It would invite disaster for Israel that no Israeli citizen wants, Netanyahu said. We are on our way to total victory. Not a matter of years or decades, a matter of months. So what is total victory? You only destroyed about 80% of all the buildings, killed about 30,000 people, wounded about 70,000. What's total victory? We're getting rid of Hamas. I mean, what is Hamas? They all wear shirts saying Hamas. Who's making up this shit? And again, go to the CNN, the Cartoon News Network. Not one article here, not one article about the Israel war and the genocide and slaughter they're committing. And in your Trends Journal, we have an article from CNN that the Guardian got of reporters saying how they're silenced to say anything negative about Israel. Facts are there. Fuck you, Israel, Netanyahu. While the U.S. has not endorsed any particular ceasefire purposes, Secretary of State Anthony Blinken met with, this is, by the way, it just, Israeli forces have been waging war against Hamas for 120 days, and according to Netanyahu, have made unprecedented gains. However, while Prime Minister claimed that Israeli forces have killed 20, so Israel has no right to say who should rule Gaza, but they're saying they are. And just as Hamas has no right to say who should run Israel. Blinken says a lot of work remains on Israel-Hamas truce talks. Yep. Blinken said he believed the Hamas response created space for a deal. Yeah, outer space. You got it. This guy is one of the most arrogant little boys with his attitude. Here's what he just said. Israel cannot use October 7th Hamas attack, quote, as a license to dehumanize others and must rescue civilian casualties in Gaza. How come you're not calling for a ceasefire? Look at this little boy Blinken about how powerful he thinks he is. Every time he's on an airplane, these big jets, who is he waving to? Who's he fucking waving to? This is a fucking clown show. They do this shit all the time. They are more powerful. They are prominent. They're pieces of shit flying these big fucking jets. Why don't you go to the airport and take a plane like the rest of us? Oh, no, I'm the Secretary of State. I'm a daddy's boy. My daddy was ambassador to Hungary. My uncle was ambassador to Belgium. I went to Dalton. I went to Harvard. So now he's bullshitting this crap out. Meanwhile, you ready? Talking about the horror going on, as he said, license to dehumanize others. U.S. Senate advances $95 billion Ukraine-Israel aid bill. Isn't that nice? 95 billion bucks, 100 billion bucks as the plantation workers of Slavelandia are starving. And this guy talking about dehumanizing, using our weapons to slaughter the people. Our weapons to slaughter the people. But hey, when them Iranians give the militants weapons and they kill 3 Americans, oh, we're going to bomb the shit out of Iraq, Syria, any place we want. What hypocrisy. Hamas responding to hostage deal demands an end to war, a non-starter for Israel. Jerusalem Times of Israel. Yep. U.S. President Joe Biden said Hamas reply was over the top. Yep. Yep. Benjamin Netanyahu said that would not accept any conditions for ending the war. Quoted an unnamed government source who said Israel would not accept any conditions for ending the war, which enters its 5th month. So keep the war going, keep slaughtering people. Again, Israel could do anything that they want. Yep. And we could go on and on. And we do. We go on and on, the Trends Journal. U.S. force in West Bank is criticized. Isn't that a nice language for the toilet? Criticized? Amnesty International said that Israel's forces were killing Palestinians in the West Bank with near total impunity. Yep. Don't believe me? This is from the toilet paper record, the New York Times. All these photos of happy Israeli troops bombing and killing. Modern versions of letters home show mockery and destruction. The New York Times reviewed hundreds of videos. Some show unremarkable parts of soldiers' life, eating, hanging out, blah, blah, blah. Others capture soldiers vandalizing local shops and school classrooms, making derogatory comments about Palestinians, bulldozing what appear to be civilian areas, and calling the building for the building of Israel settlements in Gaza. Yep. An Israeli soldier gives thumbs up as he drives his bulldozer down a street, pushing cars toward partially collapsed buildings. Quote, I stopped counting how many neighbors I've erased. On and on. And an article came out in The Intercept, and it was reported by the Daily Beast, that Israel's claims against UN relief agency lack any evidence. And they asked Blinken boy if he saw it, any evidence, and he said no. He said, but he basically believes what the Israeli government has told him. He said that the allegations in the dossier are highly, highly credible. Allegations, no proof, an allegation. On and on. We could keep going on. Iran, U.S. attacks on Iraq, Syria, blatant violation of international law. Iran response to baseless U.S. letter to, again, regarding that UNSC. At UN, Russia and China denounced U.S. military strikes in Iraq and Syria. And keep going on. Again, that's only some of what we give you in the Trends Journal, because this is really important. I want to talk about it. But these two articles came out that are very interesting. Less than half of Americans, this is a Gallup poll that just came out today, feel very satisfied with their own lives. You ready for this? For the first time in more than 2 decades, less than half of Americans say they are very satisfied with the way things are going in their personal lives. The 47% of adults expressing high satisfaction, blah, 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 edged down 3 points. Yep. The 46% reading came in 2011, when the country was still recovering from the 2007-2009 recession. So I'm mentioning this because they're sending hundreds of billions of dollars in weapons to keep bloodying the killing fields in Gaza and Ukraine. Nearly $1 trillion in the military-industrial complex. How can you keep sending all this money when you got a $34 trillion debt? Where are you getting the money from? We are on the brink of a geopolitical, socioeconomic crisis, the likes of which I've never seen in my entire life. And if we don't unite for peace, we're going to die for war. So thanks for tuning in. Subscribe to the Trends Journal. Consider donating to Occupy Peace. We're going to have rallies coming up when the weather turns nice. You go to occupypeace.com, occupypeace.com. And don't forget to watch that video I did yesterday with Judge Napolitano, Salenti and the Judge. You're not going to want to miss it. So thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you soon.
The Trends Journal, the best investment you could make, because it's the best investment into your mind, and it can change how you look at the world.
His work is actually a gold mine. Anybody interested in politics, political trends, economic trends, social trends, cultural trends, you have to follow him, Gerald Salenti.
The Trends Journal is one of the greatest sources of information, and and it really is. You're predicting these things well ahead of time. I would encourage everyone to go grab the latest copy.
Been a Trends Journal subscriber for 20 years. I just have to commend you. What you guys have put together in your latest Trends Journal, there's nothing like this out there.
Sir, everything that you predicted about the economy, you were absolutely right. So I have followed you all this time. So please take a look at the Trends Journal.
You correctly forecast that the Fed would hike rates quite aggressively, correctly said that initially gold and silver would drop as the Fed starts to raise rates to 1.5% and above. When we spoke last, Bitcoin was around 49,000. You said you expect to drop, and if it drops below 30, 35, then it could really drop.
Trends Journal, which I would encourage people to go and check out. It's actually a 200-page document, pure data-driven analysis.
Gerald Celente, the top trends forecaster in the world. Gerald, you had an interesting call back in September of last year. You said gold had bottomed, which is exactly what happened. And here we are, and we're above $1,900.
Subscribe to the Trends Journal. Read history before it happened at trendsjournal.com.